welcome to a brand new edition of the Ramble on Reactions. Sitting next to me is Handsome Dan 9.
Sitting right over there is Clever Eric Muller.
It's currently the year 2020 if you will. But for this review, we're going to go way back to another year. What year is that,
The
Dan?
Wayback Machine.
Yes, in our DeLorean. To 1917.
Bum, bum, bum.
We literally just got done seeing this film.
Yeah,
like less than 30 minutes ago?
Probably however long set up and the other couple of reviews we shot.
Yeah.
So 103 years ago, this movie happened. Not really.
That's right. We're like, Roger Deakins, get your ass in this DeLorean.
You gotta get some research done, buddy.
Dan sat out on his lap.
I was very excited to hopefully get any kind of talent through osmosis from him.
Teach me. Teach me. He did not enjoy that.
What were you saying about our reviews getting more ridiculous as the night went on? So,
just you wait.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get weird. So, that being said, this is a very serious war movie.
Yes, it is.
But it's also done, I'll say initially, it's gimmicky.
Yeah. That's the whole thing about this movie. Because for me personally, about war films, because they always end up being about the same. War bad, there's consequences, you lose, you win, you lose yourself, you win yourself, or there's always someone who's going to rise up to the occasion. So when I heard about this film, I saw the trailers, I'm like, whoop-de-doo, here comes another Oscar-Beatty war film. But then it's like, oh, it's a continuous shot?
I was going to say, yes, Oscar Beatty, but no, not for the reasons you think. Most of the time you see Oscar Beatty, it's going for writing or acting or direction.
Well, that's what I thought. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there could have been like a 10-minute monologue from someone.
I was going to say, there are monologues, but the trailer, it's misleading.
A little bit, yeah.
Because it shoots it like an original war film, or it makes you feel like it's almost done the way Dunkirk was done.
Yeah.
Especially with the stopwatch. Because you get that ticking. And I understand why they did that, because they're trying to show the urgency in the trailer. But
that's why you have the clock ticking, because it's urgent.
But to be completely honest, they might have been better off just showing a literal 2-minute clip, because there are numerous points in this movie that you could pull out and be like, here's what the movie's going to be.
Here's your movie.
And there's also something that would be a spoiler that I said while we were watching the movie that I'm going to hold off on. If you ask me later, I'll tell you what it is. But I want to make sure we don't mention that.
Well, no, there's a certain shot in the trailer that we're both like, you could have cut that.
Well, from the trailer. From the trailer.
Not from the movie. From the trailer.
Yeah, but so it's a very simple. That's another thing about this. So we talk about plot a little bit. This is literally you're in a different, I think, a battalion.
Yeah, you're in one battalion.
You're in the 8th.
You're in the 8th. Two of the guys get recruited to go tell another battalion, hey, don't attack. You're gonna die.
And I think they said it's 6 miles away.
6 miles, something like that.
It's something not that far.
Right. It's something feasible where it's not like you have to travel for days.
And it's supposed to be, the attack's supposed to go on, I think they say in 8 hours. So they find out the day before. And then, so it's done in one shot. Technically, you would say this is 2 takes for the entire movie. However, if you were doing what we were doing, we were watching and seeing, or we could see the digital scenes just because that's kind of nitpicks we are.
That's what we do.
That's what we
also,
do.
we can see it. We can tell.
Yeah. But that being said, I like that they took this, because whenever you see war movies, I think that's why Saving Private Ryan had a different vibe as to a lot of other, it had the same war themes,
right?
But it was also based on a very simple story. We're going to get this guy because all his brothers are dead and he's the only one left alive. You know what I mean? And this is a very simple story. These 2 guys
have to go there.
Yeah, go from here to there and stop this attack. That's it. War is it's the bigger theater, but it's a smaller
it's a human story. This is a human story told in the theater of war.
And I mean, it's visceral.
Oh yeah,
points. Even in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 10-minute mark maybe is when it starts.
Once
literally the shit gets real.
Once they leave their current trench and they start venturing out, it happens almost immediately, and then there's tension in most of the rest of the movie. They do give you, thankfully, it was directed by Sam Mendes and shot by Roger Deakins, and Sam Mendes has been working for years in Hollywood. I think his first movie was actually American Beauty. So he did that, and then he's gone on. He did Jarhead. I think he's done every Bond. I think he might have. I know he's done a few of them.
He did the last 2.
He did the first one too. He did Casino Royale.
No, he didn't. That was Martin Campbell.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Martin Campbell, who has a filmography like this.
Yeah.
Go look that up on IMDb. It's really interesting. So Sam Mendes, fantastic filmmaker. You can tell that this is like
it's a passion project, and it shows.
It's a pet project, but like also the names that are there.
Oh yeah, the cast is amazing.
The cast is great, but I like it because it's secondary.
Yeah.
There is not anyone who you know in front of camera more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, they're there, they're gone. They're there, they're gone. They're there, they're gone. Which I prefer, actually, in a story like this, because you're not distracted.
Well, because it's not taking away the story, because the main feature of this film is the film itself, not the actors.
The film itself, and I think this would...
And the technique.
Yeah, technique, and that's what I was going to say, is this is one of those things where we're watching it, and I'm like... Not only because direction, most of the time you're dealing with the heads of every other department, a little bit behind the curtain, heads of every other department, and then like your main actors. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just thinking about like this, you would have had to get the best AD, the assistant director, because that's the person who's going to be dealing with everyone like below that top tier, and they're going to be making sure all those, like the AD and the second AD, all those background people know exactly what they're doing. It wouldn't surprise me if they have legit like 4 or 5 assistant directors, just because there's so much going on in any given shot.
Oh, I'm sure there's people who are in uniforms who are ADs.
And that's one of the things where you don't think about that on a normal film. You're like, okay, here's a shot, and your average shot length... On an average movie, it's going to be 3 seconds or so. On a Transformers movie, it's likely under 1 second. Like... That's how long a shot length could be in a theatrical film that you're used to seeing. Mm-hmm. So the fact that this is literally the opposite, and we said sort of more early on in the movie, we both like one shots, and the fact that they took this to that degree, there are a couple other movies that like are kind of gimmicky that have done something like this, but never to this extent and never to this length. So there's a very natural cut in the middle of the movie, like almost smack in the middle of the movie, and it's breakneck pacing. It's never lulled. Give me some positives. Do you have negatives for this?
Well, I was gonna disagree. There are some lulls in it, but that's just.
But are they necessary?
Yeah.
I think they're necessary for pacing, because I feel like if you are frenetic, because I would imagine, I don't know, thankfully, I would imagine in an actual war, in an actual battle, you don't get those. You don't get lulls. You don't get stops. You don't get pauses. So it could be going on for days or weeks. And when you try to cram that all into 2 hours, I think that's where you have to give a little bit of artistic license, because you have to find that balance too. Because going in for a movie for 2 straight hours of nothing but that, because they play the tension hook that you hear in the score. Can you imagine that going on for 2 hours, just at like varying degrees? Like, you might have a heart attack before the movie's over.
It's like Uncut Gems.
I haven't seen it.
That's a movie at breakneck speed. It was sad. There was the lulls, and then there was like certain foreshadowing. I was like, that's gonna pay off later in the film. Pay attention to this.
So pay attention to that.
Pay attention.
We're not telling you what it is.
We're not, but
because this movie's barely in theaters.
That's right, barely.
So, but more positives, negatives?
No, I think we've pretty much gone over everything.
I'm very rambly today.
That's
apologies.
Okay. A-.
Great. Another A. I've been watching a lot of good movies lately, and this one was an easy one that'll stay with you for a long time. Just not necessarily the story, but like the execution.
But it is definitely worth seeing in the theater.
Yes, we were lucky enough to get a screener, but I will be going to pay money to see this in as big a screen as I can.
Or Dolby Sound.
Yeah, that too. Like just
the score,
somewhere where it's going to be
kiss.
An immersive experience. Yes. Mwah.
Immersive experience. You too could be walking around in human feces. Let me tell you, I was in those trenches.
Well, they do address that. So, talking about human feces is clever, Eric Mahler.
Trying to hold it together is handsome Dan Nye.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all those fun things. Check out the other reviews that we've done. We're doing a few today. We're about to shoot one more. It's a jellicle time.
It's perfect.
Ramble on.
History major.